Okay, let's call this meeting to order. The County Canvassing Board special meeting, Friday, June 14th, 2024. Can we have a roll call?
Commissioner Camilla Bustamante.
Present.
Commissioner Anna Hansen.
Present.
Commissioner Justin Green.
Here.
Commissioner Anna Hamilton.
Here.
Chair Hank Hughes.
Here. All right. Approval of agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Manager Schaefer?
None from the county manager's office, Mr. Chair, and I defer to the county clerk if she had any changes.
No changes from the clerk. Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Hamilton, seconded by Commissioner Bustamante. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Approval of March 12th, 2024 Canvassing Board Special Committee meeting minutes.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Hamilton, seconded by Commissioner Bustamante. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. And now request approval of June 4th, 2024 primary election report of the canvass. And we'll go to County Clerk.
Thank you, Chair Hughes. So this was a fairly straightforward election. It is a primary election, so we don't see as much turnout as we might during a general election. However, Santa Fe County, by a lot, had the most turnout throughout the state. So the average, I think, was about 25%, and we had nearly 29% turnout for eligible voters. You can see our numbers in the document we included with our materials. And so we actually spent some time working with our voters to try and make sure we cured all of our ballots. So we only ended up with 20 that were not cured. So we actually call, we email, we even knock on the doors of voters who need to cure their ballots to make sure that they know that for whatever reason they didn't complete their ballot. And so we had a very good cure rate this election, and we actually introduced a new feature where you can cure your ballot online through an online portal. So we actually did see a higher cure rate this election than in previous elections. We also introduced this feature of that folks can vote online who are UOCAVA overseas voters. So we saw a much higher return rate from our military and overseas voters because it was easier for them to return their ballots. So, you know, Santa Fe County has the highest voter turnout in the state by quite a lot, and we're making it easier and easier to vote. So if you have any questions about the results, these are canvassed results. We went through each and every single vote, made sure that, you know, everything added up, and these are the results we have.
Any questions? Commissioner Hansen?
So earlier today, we got this email. I hope you got it also from Chris Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please address that issue?
Sure.
So that we can put this to bed?
So his argument is that if the local county party has not turned in current rules, that somehow should prevent the certification of election, and that has nothing to do with us. If he has an issue with what the parties have turned in to the county level, then he should take that up with the Secretary of State. Our duty here, as the board that would certify the election, is to only not certify should there be a problem with the election or have some reason to believe that the election results are not accurate. Just like in Otero County, when they attempted not to certify the election, the Supreme Court actually, the Secretary of State put in a writ of mandamus to force Otero County to certify their election results. There is no reason to believe that these results are not accurate. If there is an issue with the party rules, that is something that he can take up with the Secretary of State.
Thank you.
Commissioner Green?
Yeah, okay, right on. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam Clerk. I guess this is just a follow-on question for one of the last requests that we had, which was about the amount of money that we spend on elections. Turnout is great, but we want to be as effective and judicious with our taxpayer money. So over the next few weeks, it would be wonderful to see what your analysis is of all of the different polling places, whether more are necessary, less are prudent, different types of mechanisms are, whatever would be your recommendations on the best practices for us to be as the most effective as possible. I, for one, didn't wait more than, no, I didn't wait, period. I walked right in, and there were 5 people waiting for me right there. I waited because I was said hi to everybody, right? So, I don't know if that's, to use, overkill or, overspending in this, but whatever is the right amount to make sure that we make it where people don't have to wait more than a few minutes, but also don't have a big, hundreds of thousands of dollars bill of excess spending on this. Would be great to have your recommendations that we could right-size this.
So we actually have a presentation today on our first pass at analysis that we could talk about, and then we will have a follow-up after we've, I know that some of we're going to be meeting NMC next week and talking about our legislative priorities, and one of the priorities, at least for Rosangela and I, is to how to not have to have as many polling sites if we have more and more voters who are on the permanent absentee list. So the idea is that we can then draw away from the amount of VCCs we need. We put capacity where we have voters who want to vote election day, and then have absentee, take up some of that capacity, so we don't need to be ready for an onslaught of people coming on election day, and therefore have to have as much throughput because we've already essentially banked those votes with absentee balloting.
Thank you. Did anybody have to wait more than 10 minutes anywhere at all during this time?
Not in Santa Fe County.
Right. So this is like, I think 10 minutes is sort of like, make me feel like I'm waiting, but maybe make me meet my neighbor, right? That's about the right amount of time of community building that somebody can say is not an inconvenience, but might actually be socialization of your neighbors.
So the MIT study in 2022 gave us high rankings because we had an average of 3 minutes in New Mexico. So, and as we move that number down, we get actually higher scores because, for some people, if they see a line at all, they'll actually they'll leave the polls. They won't get in line.
Okay. Well, I can appreciate that, but they should have some patience and understand that can happen. And just for the record, I went and visited a bunch of polls during the election day. Things seemed to be moving. I didn't see anybody ever waiting, and everybody was very cheerful. And even when you guys were mobilizing here when the polls closed, everybody was all ready to go, and it was pretty impressive. So thank you very much for running an effective operation for us.
Thank you.
Mr.
Mr.
Chair,
Hamilton. Oh,
I can wait until after.
went till after the presentation.
I have the presentation, so I can present now?
No, that's
Okay.
good. That's good.
Thank you for the opportunity. So,
While you're getting ready, I just want to say that I'm glad that our attorney also looked into Chris Meckel's complaint, and we don't have to pay attention to it because it's not our duty at this time. So that's good. Now, Rosangela, go ahead.
thank you. So this is our org chart from March. So as you can see, we have 4 vacancies. During election season, we multiply, and we bring on about 500 temporary staff, which includes help desk, same-day voter registration agents, our messenger team, our recon team, our poll workers, our absentee board, our training assistants, our interns, and also election day staff. So this is how we grow during election season. This is where we will be as of Saturday. So we've filled all of our middle management positions. All were from current staff. So we promoted internally, and we finally hired our warehouse manager. It would have been great to hire him, before the election, but he starts on Saturday. So as you can see, some of our lower entry-level positions are now vacant, and so we'll be recruiting them as well. So the reason I wanted to show you this is, we have the election going on, but our internal ins and outs of what happens at the clerk's office didn't stop. This is our turnout by age. And our turnout by age seems to be the same every election, right? The 17, 18 to 24 category is very low. And our largest category is the 65 to 74. That's what we call the gray vote, which is very active in Santa Fe County.
Hey, wait a minute.
And so there are studies about the cost of voting index, and renters, language minority, and first-time voters, students, it costs more to get them to vote. So we just wanted to show you this data. Our federally qualified electors are voting, their last known address was in Santa Fe County, so they're able to vote, and now they were able to vote online, so submit their ballot electronically. We do have a higher turnout for our FQE voters, and this is our map. We have a voter in Madagascar, we have a voter in New Zealand, and the majority of our voters overseas or abroad are from Mexico and Canada. This is our turnout. So the statewide turnout was 22%. Our turnout is 29%. We wanted to hit that 30, but yeah, we're at 29. So if you look at Bernalillo, their turnout was 22. Sandoval, their turnout is 21. Doña Ana's turnout was 15. And then Los Alamos, who there's quite a few voters that they don't have, I forget what their numbers are, but their turnout is 24. So at 29, we're doing good. So we had a total of 847 same-day voter registrations, and 520 of those were on election day. We had 57 ballots rejected, whether it was because they were missing a signature or their last four. However, we did cure 27 of those 57. We had a total of 5,115 ballots sent and a received percentage of 86. So that's really high compared to other places. And we did have about 324 first-time voters. This is all the new things we did this election. So we had a new polling site, Nancy Rodriguez. We had really cool signage that said, have you voted yet? You know, and so we put those all over the county. We can recycle them. We can use them any election for the next 4 years. We also had security contracts. And so that was at our current warehouse, at our new warehouse, and also at each of the EV sites. We had a new look and feel of our polling sites, tablecloths. That made the difference. We also had a candidate training, which won an award. So we'll share that good news as well. We created 3 Instagram reels, and they got like 900 views. So that was I work at the clerk's office, one at Abadon Lopez, because we wanted to promote that, and then also a Nancy Rodriguez. Ballot Scout, that was the way to electronically cure your ballot. So that was an initiative that was deployed this election, in addition to the federally qualified electors who were able to vote online. We continue to do our senior outreach, making sure that they know that they can be on the permanent absentee. We had a polling site mock-up set up, so we practiced setting up a polling site. Also, we had a few visits to some of our polling sites that are out there. So Hondo, Fire Station, La Tierra, and Poaca Satellite. We were on the front page of the local section as we expanded early voting. We also had traffic control at fairgrounds, and this is our temp staff was there directing traffic. We only had 1 fender bender, and I guess in other elections there's been more. Voters get too excited. They're like, where do I drop off my ballot? Where do I go? We also had our Blue Crest machine delivered, so that arrived May 29th, and we transitioned the absentee board to our new warehouse. We have created new baselines with a lot of our internal procedures. So our machine certification was done in less than 2 weeks. Our polling site teardown, we had to tear down 28 sites. That was done in 2 days. And then also our warehouse reset, getting the warehouse ready to go for the next election, that took 2 weeks. So these are all new baselines. We did have quite a few unforeseen circumstances, and we've created what did I call it? Contingency plans for all of this. As you are aware, one of our polling sites decided not to be a polling site, so we had to go through a court order, we had to get legal involved, we had to do an expedited hearing, and so we're ready in case that happens again. There was 2 construction sites at 2 of our polling sites, so we were very involved with all of our different departments involved in that, so we still had voting there. Even though it was a construction site, we did have an IT network outage, so we'll work with IT to make sure that, maybe prevent some of these outages or some of these, updates during election season. Wind and rain, our signage was damaged, so we will work with Public Works to make sure we have more durable signage, and everyone reached out to us first. They're like, we want to help you, whatever you need. And so, yeah, these are all of our foreseen circumstances. I think there was a lot more than usual. Parking, that was a situation that we will better address in the general. We'll work with, we're going to work with Public Works so that we can have dedicated parking spaces off-site. Some of our tabulator batteries were reaching end of life, so we ordered already 30 batteries. There was an HR change in the middle of our election, and so we did have to do some damage control. We went to each polling site to ensure, they knew what was the plan and why, the reasoning behind the change. And so, yeah, a lot of things came up this election. We did get awards, though. So we got 6 awards in the last 2 months. So 3 of these awards were from the Elections Assistance Commission, so our first-time voter sticker and our future voter sticker, and then our tabulator security program also won an award in addition to our mentorship program. NACO also gave us 3 awards, and that is for our civic engagement, our infrastructure, energy, and sustainability. That was also Project Bruno, and our tabulator security program. So now we get to see our election in pictures. So we have the Abadan Lopez Community Center. That is our all-female polling site. That was us visiting Hondo Fire Station and making sure that everyone's aware of the plan for setup. And that's us creating the PVC signs, which has been a really good design given the wind and rain and everything going on. We did have a bride vote on election or for early voting right before her wedding, so she wore her I voted sticker on her wedding dress. And I did get assistance putting up signs from the gentleman in red. He is not vertically challenged, so that he's our Robus counterpart. So we also did senior outreach. There is Kit and Cindy making sure that our senior citizens have all the information they need. We also painted blue lines at the Galisteo Community Center. We attended a construction meeting to make sure that, election day is part of their holiday list. And we helped people get registered to vote at senior citizen facilities. That is our have you voted yet sign. We really wanted to put, are you going to vote or what? But, we went with, have you voted yet? And so this is part of the election in pictures, but also wanted to share this slide here. So our messenger team and the supervisor, we compared it to last election. We looked at the 5 pay periods, not including this pay period, and we did see that there was a decrease in labor hours by 300 and plus. So we are making sure that now that we have new baselines of expectations, we're going to continue to perform at this level, and we are trying to save money as much as we can, but at the same time, provide that quality and accuracy. And this slide shows how many people it takes to put on this election, but also that our clerk's office, I think, is very unique in that we get to work with almost every department in the county. Especially this election, we were attending risk, was involved. Public Works was helping us with construction and fleet. We had 10 cars at our warehouse ready to go, right when we needed them. HR, payroll, legal, finance, community services, and the senior centers. We are one of the only departments that gets to work with every agency. So everyone came together to help us. And like I was telling Catherine and Jenny, they reached out to me. They're like, we know you need help. We're here to help. Just let us know what we can do. And we're like, thank you. The sheriff office as well. You know, we had 3 different people reaching out to us, making sure that we were safe and protected. So yes, it does take an entire county to put on an election. And this is us on election night after working 19 hours. Yeah, our backs were hurting a little bit. So yes, that is our presentation. And if there's any other questions, we can answer them now.
Hamilton?
Yeah, sure. It's actually good that I waited, because the serious comment was, and I think it came out in the presentation, that this seems like it was a well-run, seamless election. You guys would have been ready to canvass earlier, that's amazing. I mean, for all the years I've been here, we've usually canvassed on Friday, a week and a half after, because it takes minimally that much time. And I'm glad you have a lot of the staff here, because I just wanted to commend you for running such a nice, seamless, excellent election. I mean, I know how hard you guys all worked, and it's a big deal, so congratulations. And then there's the matter of the gray wave. It sounds so dull and serious. At least Community Services calls it the silver tsunami. That sounds so much more sparkling. But thanks for
We will take note.
thanks for doing such a good job. Good job.
Okay. Well, and you're done, I assume? Yes,
You
go
need a
ahead.
motion, right?
You need a motion.
I'd like to move to accept our Santa Fe County canvassing results.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Hamilton, seconded by Commissioner Bustamante. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
You're still in favor? Yeah. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, passed unanimously. Very good.
Thank you.
Any announcements before we close?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
thank you. We will miss your presence, Jeff. Please, safe travels.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you very much for your service to Santa Fe County. We know you're not really leaving, you're going to be here virtually for a little while, but you're not going to be here physically with us, so your physical presence will be missed.
Yes.
Definitely. All right, thank you, Commissioner Green. Motion to adjourn. Anybody?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Green, seconded by Commissioner Hamilton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.